Hello, all Wesleyan pastors and leaders. I am so pumped to be here with Graham Smith. This is an opportunity that is almost too good to be true, but it is. The discipleship department has been able to acquire a package where we are making Right Now Media free to lead pastors and a few of their core leaders for the entire year of 2025. And we'll talk a little bit more about the packaging as well. But if you already have a Right Now Media account, there are discounts that can also be applied. So every lead pastor and staff should be contacting Right Now Media to see what it looks like to get connected. We really, my job is to resource you and to support you and cheer you on in creating disciple making movement in your local context. And this is the one of the ways we can do this year. So, Graham, welcome. Thank you so much for working with our team and establishing this opportunity and getting us all connected and being our point person with a few people on your team to completely take care of the Wesleyan Church in this endeavor. So, welcome. I would appreciate it if you could walk us through some of the features of Right Now Media and how it actually will be impactful for our leaders.
Thank you so much, Pastor Katie. Yes, my name is Graham Smith, and I am so excited to have this opportunity to walk through our platform for everyone. We're absolutely thrilled to be partnering with the Wesleyan Church, and I'm praying that this video will help give everyone a deeper understanding of how Right Now Media can help advance your church's unique vision for discipleship. And in case anyone is new to Right Now Media, I want to quickly explain exactly what it is that we are looking at. And this is Right Now Media on the screen here. This is the world's largest streaming library of Bible studies and resources to help your church equip families, resource groups, and develop leaders. There's over 10,000 video Bible studies, over 300 channels of kids content, including stuff for your Sunday school program, stuff for your parents to use with their kids at home. There's over 1,000 downloadable sermon illustration videos, a library of conference sessions with some of the best leadership conferences that happen, and in most cases, several years worth of those conference sessions. And there's also a library of over 3,500 customizable training courses that you can use to offer extra support and encouragement to your leaders and volunteers throughout the church. And the way it works is one subscription for the entire church is going to allow every single one of your members and regular attendees to have free, unlimited access to your church's Right Now Media subscription. They get to use it on any device, on their phones, their tablets, their smart TVs, anywhere that they're accessing content on Netflix or YouTube. They're going to be able to use that same device to interact with Right Now Media. And you get to announce this free gift to everyone. So you get to pick a weekend, take 60 seconds during your services that weekend, tell your church what it is, why you're excited about it, and actually invite every single one of them to have their own login with their own password for your church's subscription. So they get to take it home with them and use it for personal study time, family devotion, small groups, you name it. It's an incredible way, again, to advance your church's vision for discipleship. So now that we've talked through the basics of what it is we're looking at, I actually want to take a look at some of our content and how it works. I want everybody to see the inner workings of some of our Bible studies, some of our training content, and so on. So what I'm going to do is actually click here on Browse, and then we're just going to go to all Bible studies, go to our Bible studies library. And in a moment, I'm going to scroll through these a little bit so you can see some of the different types of teachers and series that we carry. But before I do that, I actually just want to open up a Bible study just so that you can see what a study on Right Now Media looks like. So we'll look at this one. This is the book of Job with Francis Chan. You can see he starts in chapter 1, verse 1, and goes through the entire book verse by verse. The videos are roughly 10 to 12 minutes long, so it's the perfect length for a small group hour. You've got 10 to 15 minutes to watch a video, and you've got a solid 45 minutes or however much time is left in your small group meeting to be able to walk through that and have a discussion with your group. And as you see here, most of our studies are going to have group handouts, study guides, leader guides, everything that you need to unpack a study is built into it. So if we click right there, it's going to open up the entire study guide that has all the scripture references, discussion questions, icebreaker questions. I mean, everything is built into it. So again, as long as your leaders, your group members, they know their login and their password to the church's subscription, they really are going to have everything that they need in order to go through these Bible studies with their group. And they even have the ability to watch our studies together online. So if you have groups that are meeting exclusively online, or maybe just occasionally the need arises for them to join together online because someone's traveling or someone's sick or whatever the reason may be, we've added this feature where it's essentially like a Zoom meeting platform built into RightNow Media, where you can start the watch together meeting, you copy the link if you're the group leader, send it out to everybody in your small group. They can join in. You can turn on mics and camera phones, mics and camera phones, mics and cameras, and you can all go through it together. The leader can stop the video for discussion. You can access the study guide and a digital Bible right here on the right side of the screen as well. So it's incredible. And that's for all of our Bible studies. So I'm going to go back and actually scroll through some of these and give you the chance to see some of the different types of teachers and studies that we carry. And as you're looking through these, just keep in mind what that one we just looked at and everything that you can do with it, the study guides, how many sessions there were, the length of those sessions, the watch together feature. And you have now 10,000 Bible studies that are going to provide that same material to everyone throughout the church. And there's no limit to how many studies you can go through in a year, or even how many studies you could have people going through at the same time. So if you've got 30 small groups that meet on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, it's no problem. They can all be using the church's RightNow Media subscription and going through 30 different Bible studies all at the exact same time. So it's an amazing way to cut costs for your small groups. I mean, you're not having to buy a Bible study every single time a group needs one to go through. It's all online. Everyone has access to it, and there are zero limitations to how much of the content you're able to consume at any given time. So it's amazing. It's a really great way to cut costs, make things easier for your small groups. But more important than that, I think, is the fact that you also are giving this to all your families. So that means that you have now studies on marriage, parenting, grief, recovery, apologetics, addiction, studies for new believers. I mean, you see the titles of all these channels here. The list goes on and on. So not only is this a tremendous way to help advance your small group program at your church, but it's also a great way to equip your families with amazing content that they can use for their own personal study time and for family devotion throughout the week. So I love it. You can see this kind of as a ministry tool that you're able to use in the church, and as a discipleship tool that you're able to send people home and equip them with outside of the church as well, which is really exciting. And
And
that
that's a
goes for our, go
church-wide
ahead.
account, right? That's for the church-wide for every person to be able
That's
to do. So
exactly
that's
right.
discounted but not free in our Wesleyan
That's
package.
exactly right. So you
Yeah.
as a pastor, you're going to have access to all this content regardless, just because we've created this Wesleyan church subscription that is just for all the pastors and key leaders at all the different Wesleyan churches. So if you are a pastor or a key leader at a Wesleyan church, you already have free personal access to all of this. But if you would like to use this to resource your small groups, to equip your families in some of the ways that I just described, that's where we're going to be able to offer you guys an exclusive discount because of this partnership with the Wesleyan Church. You're going to be able to start a church-wide subscription, share it with everyone in your church, and the cost is going to be drastically reduced for you to do that because of this partnership. And one other detail on that really quick is that that also applies to churches who already have RightNow Media as well. So if you already have RightNow Media, as long as you're not already being discounted further than you would be through our partnership, we are going to be so happy to offer you an additional discount on your current subscription. You just reach out to me. I think Katie has provided all the contact information that you need in order to get in touch with me or my team here at the office. So just let me know and we'll be happy to walk through that with you and get that discount applied to your current subscription. But yes, fantastic question, Pastor Katie. Any other questions on our Bible studies before we move on?
Yeah, just to drop a couple things. Wesleyan.org/right now media 2025 is the page that we have set up with all of this information and viewing this. You can also find it on our Facebook group, Discipleship Collaborative. Yep, there's the page. And so there's a button that you can even just click and it gets you right into the membership signing up. So one more thing I wanted to share was for me as a lead pastor, how much time I spent developing questions for life groups and uh, connecting the different series that we are going through as life groups, and now how included they are into this whole package would save time for me to actually step into more discipleship and leadership development and community engagement. So, even with my staff now, we just went through Francis Chan's Book of James study, and so
Oh, it's
another
so
feature
good.
I love is that most of the videos in these teaching series are 10 minutes or less. And so it's not like I'm asking everyone to watch an hour video every week and then posture to the questions. It's, hey, this is realistic and possible for a for just easy grab and a chunk that then we can come together, use the questions, add our own, skip over questions that we're just not wanting to add into our conversation, and just letting the Holy Spirit move through that time together with the resource helping the overall flow. So I just really appreciate that feature as well.
I love that. That is such a good perspective too to have of from a pastor who's actually been there and done that. I really, really appreciate that, Pastor Katie. Awesome. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. We have a couple more things I want to look at. So let me hop over to our kids content and we'll really just kind of continue the same theme of how can you use Right Now Media to resource your groups and equip your families? Because this is another way you can do that. We're just talking about it in the realm of children's ministry because we have a whole library here. There's over 300 channels with incredible curriculums, sing-along series you can use to facilitate a time of worship with kids in Sunday school. There's even book of the Bible curriculums that walk through entire books of the Bible, verse by verse, just like we do in some of our adult studies. So if you've got a small group that's going through the book of Ephesians together, you could have the kids in Sunday school going through the book of Ephesians at the exact same time, which is really, really cool to think about. So not only is this an incredible way to resource your classes there in the church, but it's also an amazing way to equip parents because you have all this incredible content on here that is designed to reinforce what your parents are supposed to be teaching their kids as they disciple them. I know at our church, our children's pastor is probably one of our biggest champions for Right Now Media, and he's really big on reminding everybody that it's not their job to disciple our kids for us. It's their job to offer support, to be a sounding board, to give us resources and help in whatever way they can. But ultimately, the job of discipling our kids falls on us as parents. So he's really, really big on pushing this to the parents and reminding them that this is one of the ways that we can do that, that they are supporting us because you get your kids watching this instead of an episode of SpongeBob, the likelihood that they're going to come talk to you about God or their faith, or they're going to have questions about Jesus or salvation or what that means is much higher than if they had just watched an episode of SpongeBob. So this is absolutely going to help those parents in the mission to be the primary disciplers of their kids. So I love this. The Kids Library, again, is just another way that Right Now Media is going to help you guys to resource your groups and to equip your family. So, kids content is absolutely amazing. I love it. And then another piece that I want to kind of switch gears on here is going to be how we can help you guys train and develop your leaders. You may recall when we were going through it at the beginning, I mentioned really three different areas that we're going to help the church advance your unique vision for discipleship. And that's through resourcing your small groups, equipping your families, and developing your leaders. And our Bible studies, our kids' content is an amazing way to resource your groups and to equip your families. But our training content is going to be how you're going to use Right Now Media to develop and support your leaders and volunteers because we have a library here of over 3,500 pre-existing training courses. They're video driven, so it's still video content, just like everything else on Right Now Media. But this is designed for you to offer support and for you to be able to track the progress of your volunteers and see who needs follow-up and what does that follow-up need to look like. So really, really awesome. I'm actually just going to click on one of these and show you what the training looks like on Right Now Media. So on the surface, you can see it looks kind of like our Bible studies. The format is right here. You've got all the different pages of this training listed out. And if we click on the first one, it's going to take us right to it. You'll see in this case, it's a quick little introductory paragraph followed by a quick 2-minute video, and then you've got some follow-up questions to ask. Sometimes you'll see that one has a video and 2 questions, another video and a question. Some of them are longer or shorter, but they're always going to tell you how many slides there are and they're going to tell you the estimated time that it would take someone to complete this training. So, if I send this out to someone, I'm really only asking them to spend 12 minutes of their time going through it. That's about on average how long it's going to take someone to go through it. So, I love that. And what's really cool is you can actually send this out. So you click send on this little arrow here. It's going to pull up your whole church's contact list. It'll be synced with your RightNow Media account. You can just type in the name of whoever you need it to go to, and they'll pop up right there and click on them. And now they're in your recipient list. Or to make it even easier, you could put everybody into a group right over here. So you could have all your youth leaders grouped together, for example, and you could just add them all at once, and they're all going to be added to your recipient list. And as soon as you've decided who you're sending this to, all that's left is assigning a due date. Just let them know when you need this training completed by, and there you go. You can click send now, and it's going to send them a notification that you've sent them this training. It's available for them to go through. They can go through it anywhere they're at. So if someone's standing in line at a Starbucks waiting on coffee, they can pull out their phone, open the RightNow Media app, watch the videos, answer the questions. I mean, do everything while they're standing in line at a Starbucks, which is awesome. It makes things super easy for them. And then you, as the pastor, you're going to be able to track their progress every step of the way. So you're going to know their start date, their completion date. You're going to see the answers they're putting here to those questions. You're even going to know if someone hasn't opened or looked at it at all yet. In fact, that due date that you assigned, if that due date is approaching and they still haven't looked at the training, it's going to let both you know and that person know, so that you both are aware that this training is still waiting for them to go through. So the accountability is built into it. It is incredibly easy to see who needs follow-up and what does that follow-up need to look like. And I think one of my favorite things about the training is the fact that not only do we have all this pre-existing training, you're able to send it out to anybody you want, track their progress as they go through it, but you're also able to really customize this and make it your own. And you can do that in one of two ways. You can either take one of our trainings, like this one we're looking at here, and you can make a copy of it. And that's going to let you go in and change anything you want about this training. So you could reorder it, move the videos around, move the questions around. If you want to rewrite that introductory paragraph, make it a little bit more personal so it applies to your specific situation, just click on that slide and you can actually highlight the text and you can type in your own introduction there. You can do the same thing with the questions. Just click on the slide and you can rewrite that question however you like. Just highlight the text and you can type in your own question now. So all of our training can be customized. All that pre-existing training, you can go in, change anything you want. You can even remove things. So if you don't feel like this question's necessary, you can click that little red trash can and get rid of it and it is gone. So fully customizable training available, 3,500 of them, something for every ministry and any role that somebody might step into within one of those ministries. And I think probably the coolest part of our training is when you start looking at how you can create your own, where you're not customizing our training, but you're really just starting with a blank template and creating your own training from scratch. And to do that, we're just going to go up here, click on our profile menu, and we'll go to My Content and then My Interactive Content. People are interacting with it. So at its core, that's what we call it, is interactive content. And to create a new one, we're just going to click this blue button that says Create Content. So we'll give it a title. Let's call it Pastor Katie's Training for New Pastors. You can give it a quick description if you want. If you want to assign a cover image, you can do that. Just select whatever image you want to use right there from your computer, and it'll upload it right there for you. And then as soon as you're done, just click Create. And now you have a blank template where you can design your own training from the ground up. So to start, you would just click New Slide. And let's start with an introductory paragraph. We can just click on Text here and write in our own introduction. So now we've got our introduction and we want to add a video. So we can click this little plus sign to add a new slide. And we're going to select video this time. And that video doesn't have to be a RightNow Media video. It can be. You can select anything that we have in our content. We have over 20,000 videos in our libraries. You can pull anything you want from our libraries. But You can also add your own content, or if there's maybe a video of someone else teaching on YouTube or on Vimeo or Facebook, whatever that looks like, any of your own content or any content that's available to you to use online, you are free to bring that in and use it as part of your training. So that means you could have your own training where you take a 5-minute video, you walk someone through their role, their responsibility, put it into the training, add some questions to go along with it. And now you've taken 10 minutes out of your day to put together an entire course that's going to tell someone how to do some new responsibility they've taken on. So I love it. There's so much potential there. When you're done with your video, you just add your questions and you've got long response, short response, multiple choice, ranking items. You can even add documents or Bible verses, images as well. So like if you have a PDF that you need somebody to sign and fill out and get back to you, you can throw that right in there as part of the training. And I think that's where you can kind of start to see just how versatile this is. And I know we've been using the word training a lot to describe our interactive content, but that's really just scratching the surface. There is so much that you can do with it. We have churches that use it for their small group curriculum. But let's say this month you're doing a sermon-based curriculum series in all your small groups. You can build that out right here. Throw in your sermon video, throw in the questions you want your leaders asking, send it out to your leaders, and now they've all got access to the entire lesson plan right there. And you could even ask them to go through it ahead of time and make sure they've got a solid grasp on that material that they're going to be walking their small group through, which is really cool. We've had churches use it for new member classes. The Village Church here in Dallas, they actually, if you go visit them and you fill out the Connect card, you throw it in the offering plate, they're going to reach out and say, hey, thanks so much for visiting us this weekend. We hope to see you again soon. But in the meantime, here's a free gift that we'd love to bless you and your family with. And they're going to give that visitor RightNow Media just as a gift to say, thanks for checking out our church this weekend. And I love that. I mean, you're opening up a huge library of resources that could be, I mean, truly life-changing for someone that's just decided to check out your church, maybe isn't sure about God, maybe isn't sure about church in general. And you've just given them this incredible gift that could potentially be truly life-changing for them. And not only that, every single time they use it, they're going to be reminded of you guys, your church. They know exactly where this gift came from. You're able to fully customize the whole subscription for them. And I'll show you some of those features here in a second. But I love that. And what the Village is doing that is so unique in that process is once that visitor, they've received that email, they've clicked the link, they've signed up for the Village's RightNow Media subscription, they're automatically going to receive a training or an interactive content that the Village has put together that's just titled Welcome to the Village Church. And what follows is some videos of the pastors talking about mission, vision, and culture. There's some basic questions for you to answer about yourself. And I think the last question they ask you is, we have new member classes continuing on these dates at these times. Which one can we expect you to attend? So I say all that hopefully not to overwhelm everyone, but really just to paint a picture of how versatile this interactive content feature is. You've got 3,500 training courses that you can send out just as they are, and they're going to be an incredible way to offer extra support and encouragement to your volunteers and leaders. You've got the ability to customize those and make them your own. And you have the ability to go to a blank slate and start from scratch and design your own from the ground up, which gives you so many possibilities with how you could use this tool. So I love the interactive content and the training feature. I think it's one of my favorite things to walk through whenever I'm going through this with a pastor or a group of pastors. So it is fantastic. All right, so we talked through some of those areas. We talked through resourcing our groups, equipping our families, how we can help develop your leaders and your volunteers as well with our training content. And last thing I want to do is just quickly talk about how you're able to customize this and really make it your own, make it unique and specific to your church. So you'll notice right here where this says Graham's Church, that's just my imaginary church that I made up for the purpose of a call like this one to show you guys how it works. If you click there, it's going to take you to our church's custom library where you see our church's logo. The banner image can be anything that you want. You can change that, make it a picture of the church, make it an advertisement for VBS that's coming up. Anything that you like can go right here on the screen. And then you're going to be able to create channels just like the ones that you see here. And I just created all of these as examples examples. So none of these are going to be there on your church's subscription. These are just examples to show you what you can do with it, where you're able to really point people in the right direction. You can decide the content that is most important, whether that's your favorite teachers, your favorite series, or just the teachers and series that really resonate with what your church is talking about in this season. So make it your own, fill it up with your favorite teachers. You can also, again, add your own content here as well. You can add your sermon videos, add announcement videos, anything that you want can be added to this channel as well. So when people are logging in, they're not logging in and just seeing a whole bunch of RightNow Media logos everywhere and all the content that we're excited about, which there's always content that we're excited about, but that's not what's important. What's important is them logging in and seeing your church's name, your church's logo, and the content that you are most excited to share with them. So first thing, this is where everyone's going to land, and it really just helps us remind them where this gift is coming from, why they have this gift, and lets you really focus them in on the content that is going to be most meaningful to them. So not only do you have all this incredible content, you're able to start a subscription for your church, share it with anyone and everyone who attends your church on a regular basis, but you're able to customize it, really make it your own, make it unique, make it specific to your church. You could even encourage people to share it with their neighbor, with their volunteer, with a visitor that comes that week. Anybody that you want to share this with, you're able to share it with them, because the pricing is not based off the number of users that you have. It is entirely based off your average weekly attendance. And because of that, that means you are free to be generous with this. Give it away to your visitors. Give it away to those parents who only come for VBS over the summer, that family that only comes for the Christmas service every year. You're able to use this almost as an evangelistic tool in that sense, and encourage your members to do that. They can share it with a neighbor. They can share it with a friend at the PTA or whoever they want to. And it's going to be a great way for you not only to resource them with potentially life-changing material, but also it's a great way to remind them that you guys are there, you're thinking about them, and you're doing things like this to support them, which is really, really cool. All
Right.
right. So I
In
love
our
it. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Pastor
in our
Katie.
last 2 minutes, just wanting to say that where you see Graham's church, we also have the Wesleyan church with our blue dove, white. And then I've gone down and picked Wesleyan vetted, holiness vetted, theological training. So you know that if you enter that area, that these are the recommended videos for all of these channels: children's ministry, parent discipleship, encouragement, pastors, leadership training. All of these channels are custom picked for you to step into, knowing, hey, this is a resource for us that does not compromise for sure on what we are believing, what we are wanting to disciple through. So I just love that feature and just wanted to add that out before we headed out.
Yes, absolutely. I love that too. Tell me, Pastor Katie, are there any other questions that you feel are important for us to answer for your pastors, or anything that you'd like me to touch on before we wrap up our time here?
I think this covered the great initial chunk. Go to wesleyan.org/, RightNow Media 2025. There is the contact information for you to not only subscribe and get the account, but where you can have your answers. And Graham's team is a team of 4 people, so they know our account, they know us well. You're getting to the right people right away, not lost in a phone tree. And they have just been fantastic with their heart and knowing their content and what we need and who needs it and how we partner in doing this. So really grateful for your time, Graham, and really hoping we can spread the word to get this news out, and get as many people subscribed as possible.
Yes, absolutely. Last thing I'm going to throw out there too is that if you've just watched this and you've got questions, maybe about the discount for your church, maybe about your free personal access, whatever that may be, you'll see here on that same page that Pastor Katie just shared, the wesleyan.org / Right Now Media 2025. You can see it right up here in the URL as well. They've got my contact information right here on the screen. So you can call me, email me, just let me know how I can be helpful. If there's questions, anything I can do to help, I'm here to serve you guys. So don't hesitate to reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Pastor Katie.